let's talk about connecting. Like, how do you speak so people want to listen? How in the world do you get people to desire to listen to you? Well, the short answer is with sandpaper. I'll explain. Hey, I'm Terri Savelle, your cheerleader of dreams. You know, anytime someone asks me how I went from living paycheck to paycheck, in debt, out of shape, no dreams or goals for my life. I mean, literally went from ghostwriting books to authoring books, attending conferences to speaking at conferences, and from watching TV to hosting a TV show. I always say it boils down to one word: routine. I changed my routine and it drastically changed my life. You know, one of the biggest changes I made to my daily routine was listening to inspirational messages that pointed my life in the right direction. So I want to ask you to subscribe to this podcast so you get consistent inspiration and coaching to help you live your dreams. In fact, today I want to offer you something I've never done quite like this before. It's a free 3-part email series on the leadership connection method. You know, they say the quickest way and the cheapest way to learn is from someone else's mistakes, right? Well, this special email series will be a shortcut to help you live your dreams. And I'm going to show you how to access that free series in just a minute. But first, let's talk about connecting. Like, how do you speak so people want to listen? How in the world do you get people to desire to listen to you? Well, the short answer is with sandpaper. I'll explain. You know, Maya Angelou made this statement. She said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Well, in Luke 19:14, God tells us to do business until he comes back, right? I heard T.D. Jakes say, the order is clear. He said, we're not supposed to sit around. We're not supposed to wait. God wants us to take action now. We have to build businesses and churches and products that are answers to someone's prayers. Well, we also have to learn how to connect with people so they want to listen. They want to do business. They want to attend our church, be on our team, use our services, be our friends, right? Well, the number one way you speak so people want to listen is with your story. You know, Vanessa Van Edwards said the shortcut to connection is to be a storyteller. Well, let me just tell you, did you know that some of your best experiences come wrapped in sandpaper? You know, what I mean by this is the times you were hurting, you were in pain, you struggled, you cried, you wanted to give up, you were treated wrong. In other words, you were rubbed the wrong way, right? Your best stories come wrapped in sandpaper. Your struggles are what connect you with people. That's what causes people to want to listen to you. You know, I can't help but think about the first time I actually spoke to young people. I was not a public speaker. I was not a minister. I had no desire to do that. I was a ghostwriter. I liked being behind the scenes. I had no intention of being in front of people. Well, years ago, my mom was speaking at a church in Birmingham, Alabama, and she called me one day and she said, Terri, would you go with me on this meeting? And she said, you know, they want to do like a mother-daughter thing where they're bringing all the young girls in and they're going to have a Friday night girls' night. And she said, I was just thinking maybe you'd want to talk to the young girls. I was like, about what? What in the world would I talk to these girls about? My mom goes, oh, just tell them how you were a cheerleader all through school. You were the homecoming queen. You loved God. You were on the National Honor Society. Just how Christian girls can be popular too. That's what she said. I'm on the other end of the phone. I said, Mom, you know, what you said is true, but I said, I got pregnant before I got married. And my mom goes, oh yeah. Well, if you feel comfortable, she said, you could share that story. I was like, I don't want to share anything. Well, I prayed about it and I was like, Lord, do you want me to go and tell this story? And I felt like I was supposed to. So I flew to Birmingham. Friday night, we get to this church and it is packed out with teenage girls, hundreds of them. And I am so nervous and I was praying so hard that God would give me the strength to tell this story because I wasn't used to ever telling this story. It was one of those things you just want to kind of hide. Well, I started my message out. I said, girls, I just want you to know, I said, I was a cheerleader all through school. I was the homecoming queen, class favorite girl. I was Miss Crowley High School. I said, I even dated the quarterback. And they're just looking at me like sizing me up and down like, you can leave now. They were grossed out, right? Then all of a sudden I said, but I will never forget one night in Lubbock, Texas, my senior year of college, right before I graduated. I said, I'm laying in my floor, scribbling in my journal, I want to die. And they're all looking at me like, why? You were like happy-go-lucky girl. Why would you want to die? I said, because I had just found out that I was pregnant before marriage. And I said, my dad's a well-known preacher. Here I am, trying to live a good life, but I'm hiding a lot of pain, hiding a lot in front of everybody. And I said, I'm wanting to die. And I said, let me back it up. I'll never forget going to the grocery store, buying the pregnancy test, knowing that, what if I run into somebody who knows me from class and they know I'm not married, or worse, they know who my dad is and they see me buying this pregnancy test. And then I said, I remember going home to my apartment, taking the pregnancy test, and I said, I will never forget how hard my heart was beating, waiting for the results to appear. And when that test stick showed a plus sign, I said, it didn't just show that I was pregnant. It revealed to me, you are worthless. You are the biggest disgrace of the Savelle family. You have humiliated your father's ministry. That's what that positive sign showed me. And I said, that's why I was laying in my floor writing, I want to die. I said, I'll never forget finally confronting it, writing a letter to my parents and telling them, you should disown me. I don't deserve a wedding. I don't deserve you to be in this family. You can disown me if you want. And I'm bawling through the whole letter, sent that to my parents. I said, then, when I got the phone call, knowing my dad had read the letter, and I pick up the phone, and my dad's in England on the other side of the world, and he says, hey, Terri, it's your daddy. And I just start bawling, going, Daddy, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Daddy. And I'm bawling through my whole presentation, the whole message. Well, everybody in the crowd was bawling too. Well, let me just tell you, the altar was filled with young women by the end of that message, crying, making decisions to change their lives, to stay pure, to get closer to God, to not let that be their story. Well, they told me later, they sold more cassette tapes back then of that message than any message Kenneth Hagin had ever sold at that church. Why? Because all these parents are buying the message for their daughters, their sons. Stories are what connect you with people. If I had just told them I was cheerleader, homecoming queen, we wouldn't have had a connection. But see, it was the sandpaper story. The times that I was in pain, the times that I struggled, that's what causes people to connect with you. So what is your story that people need to hear? Rick Warren said, your most effective ministry will come out of your deepest hurts. He said, other people are going to find healing in your wounds. He said, your greatest life message and your most effective ministry will come from your deepest hurts. The things you're most embarrassed about, you're most ashamed of, the things you're most reluctant to even want to tell people, those are the very tools that God can use most powerfully to heal others. You've heard people say, your mess becomes your message. Your misery becomes your ministry. Well, if you want to connect better with people, it's through story. And if you're a public speaker or you desire to be a public speaker, they say 41% of the world is terrified of speaking opportunities and they turn it down. Well, public speaking is just about a conversation from your heart about something you're passionate about. Princess Diana, she reportedly said, she was so afraid of public speaking and she just wished she had the gift that Prince Charles had of just making people laugh. Well, her mentor told her, he said, just connect with your heart. He said, your vulnerabilities, your mistakes, your failures, that's what causes people to connect with you. That's why she was called the People's Princess, right? We connected with her vulnerabilities. Well, it's the same with you. You have a story, and I want you to connect better. I want to help you with this. I want you to get this free 3-part email series to help you succeed in life, in business, and in relationships that will lead you to your dreams. And I believe you're going to enjoy this. I'll tell you how to get it in just a second. But first, our YouTube subscriber this week is Sonia Cruz Garcia. Let's see what she says. Sonia said, hi, Terri. I'm a new subscriber to your channel. I've been listening to many of your videos. The first time I listened to you, your message went straight to my heart. I love that. Everything that you were teaching was my truth. Thank you for your teachings. And then she says, Oh man, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know how to say this, but I think it means blessings in Spanish. But Sonia Cruz Garcia, thank you so much. And that blesses me because you're saying that it went straight to your heart. And we just talked about how stories are what connect you with people from your heart. So thank you, Sonia. And I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I want to help you with this. You know, this week, like I said, I'm giving you a 3-part series on the leadership connection method. Now, I've broken this down in 3 different emails that you will get over the course of the next few days. In order to live your dreams and fulfill your assignment, there is one thing you must master, and that's connecting. So I want you to just click the link in the description or go to terri.com/connection to enroll in my free 3-part series on the leadership connection method. And remember, for more consistent motivation, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. You can find the handles below, or click that little red subscribe button for weekly videos to make this your best year yet. Thanks for watching, and remember, I'm cheering you on.